Let's go to the Corona tail of the tape. Glowacki will turn 30 years old this July. That is the same month that Cunningham will turn the big 4-0. So Glowacki has the youth, but Cunningham has the size advantage. 2 inches in height and significant 7-inch reach advantage. Our fighters are in the ring. Let's go to arena announcer Ray Flores.
Ladies and gentlemen, the action begins with 12 rounds for the Cruiserweight Championship. Introducing first, fighting out of the red corner, wearing the black with the gold trim. His professional record, 28 wins, 7 losses, 1 draw, 13 wins coming by way of KO. Fighting out of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, he is the challenger, Steve USS Cunningham. Across the ring out of the blue corner, wearing the black and the silver. As a professional, undefeated, 25 wins, 16 of those coming by way of knockouts. Joining us from Wout, Poland, he is the champion, Krzysztof Glowacki.
Steve Cunningham has been here before, 2-time Cruiserweight champ. His 9th title fight, he's 4-4. And it's underway, scheduled for 12.
Kenny, I've been excited about this fight since it got announced, and both fighters coming out in this first round looking to feel each other out a little bit. You see Krzysztof, he's a southpaw, got that right foot forward. Steve with a little bit of weight on his back foot, looking to see what Krzysztof does.
These men have something in common. The only 2 men to defeat Marco Huck as a cruiserweight. Of course, Glowacki did it last summer to take the title. Cunningham beat Hook back on December 29, 2007.
Both guys have great wins over a long-standing champion. Steve got him in the beginning of the career of Marco Huck, but Marco Huck went on to win the title, that IBF title, a little later, and held that belt for a long time until Krzysztof Glowacki pried it away from his grips last August. Very good fighter, very promising future.
Glowacki trying to go inside, that's what he said he would like to do. Feeling is, in his camp, can Cunningham stay with him and bang, or will Cunningham keep it on the outside?
Well, we talked about this yesterday in the fighter meetings, Kenny. Glowacki told us pressure was the key. You know, it's only the first round, so you don't have to get worried about it. Both guys feeling each other out, but at this distance, Steve Cunningham's going to have the advantage. Glowacki needs to be moving his head, working his way on the inside, landing body shots to lower the guard of Steve Cunningham.
Cunningham can be effective with the jab. We've seen him do it many times before.
And you look at Steve Cunningham, you say, you know, he's skinny, he's not a big puncher. You know, I'm going to be able to go in and walk him down. Glowacki, seeing in this first round, Steve's more rangy, and he's able to close distance and control geography a little better than it looks.
Cunningham has the reach advantage. He certainly has fought against bigger men. He had 8 fights as a heavyweight before coming back to his more natural weight of cruiserweight. Under a minute to go in round 1.
Nice right hook to the body by Steve. I'd like to see him get his left jab working a little more. Give Glowacki something to look at. Touch him up, touch him down, set some traps, see what he does.
Cunningham trying to work the body of Glowacki.
Nice right hand lead by Steve. That's going to be a key punch. And a nice left by Glowacki countering back.
Yeah, he doubled up on that left.
Both guys can land their backhand counters off the front. Steve can land that right hand lead. Glowacki can land that left hand lead.
And Cunningham comes into the body, tries to go up top.
Good first round by Steve Cunningham.
This has been, as we expected, a get-to-know-you first round between Glowacki and Cunningham.
Time!
Round 2 scheduled for 12, this Cruiserweight Championship. And Glowacki, the champion, in the black with the red trim. Black and silver as well.
See the real wide stance of Cunningham.
And he knocks Cunningham down. Cunningham is down. Glowacki was able to get that left in there, and Cunningham goes to the mat.
7, 8. Come to me, champ.
Beautiful shot, Kenny. He hit him with that left hook. Glowacki was on his back foot, and he caught Steve getting a little too careless.
And again, with the left, and again, Cunningham down.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You go, I'm good.
Steve needs to be very careful here, Kenny. Don't rush back in. Give himself a breather. Get his head back together. He's still hurt.
And Glowacki missing with that. Now just throws him down. And gets a quick warning from the ref.
That's respect.
They touch him up and back to the action.
Kenny, Steve Cunningham still affected by those punches. This is one time where he needs to forget that he's from the city of Philadelphia and give himself a second to get his head back together. He doesn't need to trade on the inside with shaky legs. Steve needs to focus here and get his left foot outside of the right foot of Glowacki. Use his jab, give himself some time here. Keep that distance. Make Glowacki work for it.
Glowacki told us yesterday, through his interpreter, that he thought if he could keep it inside, he was the stronger fighter, had the better power punches.
No question he's the harder puncher, Kenny, but he caught Steve getting a little too brave, you know? Brother Nazim told us that yesterday in the fighters' meetings that, you know, we want Steve to box, not think just because he's back in the cruiserweight division, he's the bigger guy. He's got to do what he does. Stay on the outside.
Nazim Richardson, the well-respected trainer in the Philadelphia area, trained many of the greats, talking about how Cunningham has been a fighter that he always knows is going to show up and train hard. He has to worry about him taking his time and relaxing sometimes. That's the biggest key.
Yeah, he's definitely a worker, Kenny. Steve's the guy who likes to come to the gym, and he told us he sweats all the time because of that work ethic.
Keep him up.
He really likes to push himself every single day to the limit. He's starting to find his legs a little more here. You see him starting to compose himself, but I would like to see him keep his distance, use that left jab, because Glowacki's got very heavy-handed.
Glowacki knocking down Cunningham twice here in the second round. Cunningham survives. 2 big punches from Glowacki, knocked to the canvas twice.
Big round for Glowacki, Kenny.
Glowacki with that huge round, BJ, as we go to this third scheduled for 12. And maybe in the corner of Cunningham, they're reminding him of April the 4th, 2014, when Amir Mansour knocked him down twice in the middle of the fight. It looked like it was over. Cunningham somehow rallied to knock Mansour down and go on to win the fight.
Amazing performance by Steve and Amir in that fight. Both guys gave it their all, and Steve showed a lot of heart in the heavyweight division. He's got a different challenge in front of him tonight. Glowacki's got much faster hands.
10-7 round unofficially scored by Eric Raskin, as you would imagine, with 2 knockdowns.
Left jab in that distance has got to be the key, Kenny. He can't sit there and go in the trenches with Glowacki. He's got to break him down. Steve needs to remember, don't move into the right hand or into the left hand of Glowacki. Steve needs to move to his left.
Glowacki with just a touch of the left that time.
And as Steve can tell you now, and as Marco Huck can tell you also, this kid can really punch. So if you know his left hand is so heavy, let's take that one tool and one weapon away from him and make him figure something else out.
Glowacki told us yesterday when Huck knocked him down, he'd never been knocked down before. There's a good left again. He said he thought it threw Huck off. Actually, when he got back up and started fighting, and of course, he went on to knock him out. I wonder if that's in the back of his mind after knocking Cunningham down twice. He doesn't want to give him a chance.
I don't think he's frustrated yet, Kenny. He's still, Glowacki still holds his composure nicely. He's landed some good left hands in this round behind that double right jab.
You hear the cheers in the background. Glowacki as Cunningham puts him against the ropes. Glowacki has a lot of fans here from the Polish communities in New Jersey and New York, avid fight fans, waving the red and white scarves and coming out. to support Glowacki.
Yeah, he's got a legion of followers, Kenny. And, you know, something I want to mention, it's a testament to Steve how he's able to come back after being dropped 2 times in the last round. You know, this isn't a video game where you get knocked down, you just come right back up and you start fighting it. I mean, he got severely damaged, and he's having a very good 3rd round here, Kenny.
Glowacki comes back.
You see Steve remembering the punching combinations in this round, not 1-2 and leaving it out there. 1, 2, 3, 4, getting his hands back and making a defensive move. Glowacki's had more troubles connecting with solid punches in this round.
Final seconds, round 3. Cunningham's legs definitely back. And back live here at the Barclays Center. Championship of the Cruiserweight division on the line. We begin round 4. It's scheduled for 12. The challenger in the gold and black, Steve Cunningham, coming back strong after being knocked down twice in the 2nd round with a good 3rd round performance against the champ, Krzysztof Glowacki.
Nice right hand by Steve. He got Glowacki's attention with that overhand right.
Eric gave that last round unofficially to Cunningham, the first one that he's been able to win.
I agree with Eric's scorecard. The 1st round was also close, so some judges might have given him that round, but both guys had a very competitive 1st round. Now into the 4th round here, Kenny. Glowacki needs to start to do what he told us yesterday in the fighter meetings. Apply pressure to Steve Cunningham. Don't let Steve sit on the outside with that distance and pick his shots. Make Steve fight an inside fight. You see the type of power Glowacki has in those close quarters.
Glowacki saying to us yesterday at the meeting that this camp was just like every camp, getting ready for Hook or anyone else he's fought. He comes in with the same intensity, taking nothing for granted. And this is his first title defense.
No question, you could see the hunger in his eyes yesterday. Can you know, when he told us the story about the groceries and being able to not worry about financial things, you could tell.
A slip and back up. Cunningham ready to go again.
You can tell he's got a lot of hunger and a lot of desire, but you know, getting ready for Steve Cunningham is very different than getting ready for Marco Huck or Nuri Seferi, the 2 previous opponents. Those guys are come-forward bangers, and Steve is a pure boxer. So you can prepare as much as you want in the gym, but once you get in the ring, it's a different look, a different timing and speed. Nice body shot by Glowacki.
And he comes up top with a good left as well, does Glowacki.
Beautiful left hand of the body. And he finished it up top, like you said. Good stuff for Glowacki.
Cunningham swipes at the hook himself.
Kind of a long overhand right. And what was interesting about that, you know, it didn't catch Glowacki clean, but he was able to physically move him when he connected with it.
As much of a push as a hit. Glowacki ducking under those.
And Steve needs to be careful not to be too much of a headhunter. Focus on the body.
Nice right. Cunningham becoming a more confident fighter after being knocked down twice in the 2nd. Round 4 coming to an end. Time. Back live, PBC on NBC here at Barclays Center in Brooklyn. This is a Cruiserweight Championship fight. And Steve Cunningham coming back strong after being knocked down early. He is the challenger against Krzysztof Glowacki. Glowacki, the southpaw, making his first title defense.
Nice left hook by Steve over the top of that right hand of Glowacki, Kenny. You saw him kind of lean back, wait for Glowacki to shoot it and catch him.
Break! Hello. A warning there to Glowacki. That last round, Eric Raskin unofficially giving it to Cunningham. Back-to-back rounds for Steve Cunningham now unofficially.
You see Steve trying to set up that right hand lead. I would like for him to come back with a left hook or at least another straight jab to kind of protect himself after that right hand lead. He's leaving himself a little naked and off balance.
Let's check in with Todd Harris.
All right, thank you, Kenny. Here with the trainer of Steve Cunningham, Brother Nazim Richardson. Brother Nazim, Steve got touched up in that second round. What adjustments has he made to turn this fight around?
You got to bring it to boxing. He's not here to fight. You know, a dog and a rooster can fight. We need him to box and box smart.
How much was he touched up and how did he feel after that second round?
Well, he got hit with a shot. It ain't the first time he been hit with a shot. You got to do a lot more than that to beat Steve Cunningham.
Thank you, sir. Kenny?
All right, thanks, Todd. That's so true, as we have seen at least a half a dozen of his fights live. BJ, you go back a long way to your championship amateur days, both you and Steve, and everyone will say what a tough customer he is, including Tyson Fury, a man who actually stopped Cunningham when Cunningham was in the heavyweight division. Fury, of course, going on a couple of years later to become the heavyweight champion.
And nobody's going to have an easy night with Steve Cunningham. You see, after that second round, Kenny, he made the adjustments. He's boxing much better. Got the last 2 rounds on Eric's scorecard, but, you know, he's doing what he told us. He's maintaining distance. He's touching Krzysztof with the jab, and you know, he's starting to shift the control of the fight in his favor.
And Glowacki hitting very close to the back of the head, and that's the second time he's been warned.
And Glowacki's got to be careful not to be too handcuffed in this fight. He's blocking a lot of punches and kind of waiting for Steve to initiate the attack. I think he needs to go on the offensive and be more aggressive, Kenny. I told this yesterday, I'm going to pressure him like crazy, but if you're looking at what I'm looking at, what do you see?
I'm seeing Steve Cunningham taking control of this fight. The tempo drastically changing since round 2. And Cunningham continues to be the aggressor. Final seconds. Round 5 of this championship bout. Glowacki and Cunningham. Back inside the Barclays Center in Brooklyn. The champion, Krzysztof Glowacki, in his first title defense. And Steve Cunningham giving him all he wants right now to the southpaw Glowacki.
Glowacki dug in a nice left uppercut to the body, Kenny, whenever Steve extended with the right hand. Good timing by Glowacki.
Glowacki has yet to lose. 16 wins coming by knockout. He knocked Cunningham down twice in the second round. That last round, he came back and unofficially, according to Eric, got his momentum back. Kenny Rice, BJ Flores, Todd Harris, glad that you're with us. 2 more live fights coming up after this.
If you look at the stance of Glowacki, it's obvious what he wants to do. He wants to counterpunch because all of his weight is on his back, and he's just looking for Steve to extend with that right hand so he can land his left.
And a strategy that's changed since the start of the fight.
Yeah, because Steve has been able to incorporate that left jab and touch Glowacki and confuse him to where he can't necessarily determine when exactly the right hand's coming in. Nice combination from Glowacki.
We haven't seen one of those in a long time.
Right hook, left hand. He's trying to get Steve to catch the right hook with his guard, lift his left hand up, and then hit him straight down the middle with that right hand. Didn't work, but good idea.
'Glowacki again combination.
Nice counter. He caught Steve overextending. And once again, when you only come with 1 punch, it makes it easy to counterpunch. So Steve's got to put 2 and 3 together like he was a couple rounds ago.
29-year-old Glowacki from Vaught, Poland, about 260 miles outside of Warsaw. Said his big brother used to beat him up. He watched the Mike Tyson fight, got inspired, and became a boxer at a young age, and a very good one. Went on to become a 3-time national champ in Poland.
Not an easy feat. Poland's got a history of having good light heavyweights, good cruiserweights, and even good heavyweights. Thomas Adamek, Krzysztof Glowacki, heavyweights. Andrew Bellotta.
Steve Cunningham certainly knows about Wodarczyk. He won and lost against him. And that was one of the boyhood idols of Glowacki, who said he remembers well when Cunningham won that fight against Wodarczyk.
And who would have thought Glowacki, even watching his idol get beat by Steve Cunningham almost 10 years later, we have the same guy in the ring in America.
Reaching the halfway point of this title fight. Round 6 coming to an end. Back live, Barclays Center. Hold on just a minute. Referee Art McCanty wants to go back in the corner of Steve Cunningham. Cunningham has a welt growing over the right eye. We were seeing it here in the ring as they were working on him in the corner. An inadvertent headbutt late in that 6th round. Let's bring in Eric Raskin, our unofficial scorer. How do you see it so far, Eric?
Well, I have Glowacki pulling away a bit here these last couple of rounds. He's ahead now on my card, 58-54. You had to be impressed by the recuperative powers of Cunningham, taking the 3rd and 4th behind his jab after suffering those 2 knockdowns, but it's a big hole to dig your way out of, so I have Glowacki winning the 5th and the 6th.
Thank you, Eric. Glowacki with those 2 knockdowns in round 2, and he was aggressive and he was in control. It looked like it was going to be a long night for Steve Cunningham. He turned things around in the middle rounds.
Or a short night, Kenny. You know, most guys can't recover from 2 knockdowns.
A short night that felt like a long night.
2 knockdowns in 1 single round at a world championship caliber fight is very difficult. And, you know, Steve just has always shown that Steve Cunningham part, and I can't say I'm surprised.
Cunningham landing a body shot. Much has been made about Cunningham turning 40 years old in July. He told us yesterday he feels like he's 22 years old again, back in the Navy. And he walks around in shape, as you know, when you called him to be your sparring partner.
I think I called him on a Friday, and he showed up at my house in Arizona on a Wednesday. So the guy's always in shape, and he's looking good tonight. But definitely got himself in a bit of a hole.
For a report from Glowacki's camp, let's go to Todd.
Thank you, Kenny. With the help of Peter Gungarchuk, the translator, he told me Glowacki's corner wants him to continue to work that left, use that left. They said you're setting him up perfectly, beautiful traps, but you cannot count on the 2 knockdowns in the 2nd round. You guys going to keep coming at you. You got to put him away.
All right, thanks, Todd. And that's exactly what Cunningham continues to do.
Beautiful right hand to the body a second ago by Steve Cunningham. When you got a guy leaning back like Glowacki, it's hard to go for the head. He's waiting for you to do that so he can hit you with the left hand, so you got to focus on the body.
Southpaw Glowacki, his first title defense of the cruiserweight crown. He won August the 15th with the 11th round knockout of Marco Huck, ending that 6-year cruiserweight reign. And one of the shocking wins last year, the PBC fight of the year.
Nice left hand counterpunch by Glowacki a second ago. He's got really good timing, Kenny. He's not just a power puncher. He's looking for those little spaces and areas to sneak that punch in. And you know, that's really all he's needed to connect with that left hand. Wait for Steve to shoot the right, shoot the left. Still a very close round.
Final seconds of the round. Glowacki looking solid. As the round comes to a close.
In the 6th round, we see how it happened. You know, Krzysztof Glowacki coming in, trying to make contact with that left hand. Both fighters kind of coming together. It happens a lot when an orthodox fighter faces a southpaw.
The southpaw, Krzysztof Glowacki, is the reigning cruiserweight champ. This is his first title defense. We go into round 8 scheduled for 12. Eric giving that last round to Cunningham.
Another close round, though, Kenny, and both guys landed some good shots. Cunningham closed it a little stronger, though.
Glowacki with a good body shot.
And you saw whenever Steve leaves that single right hand out there, he leaves himself vulnerable. So he's got to continue, you know, to not continue to do that. He's got to come back with that left hook or that left jab, or make another adjustment.
That left was the bread and butter for Glowacki.
Took another left hand there, Kenny. Got to use that jab and set traps, not just walk his way in and try to trade with a bigger punch of Glowacki.
Good left again, Glowacki.
And you saw the right leg of Steve come off the canvas on that. Glowacki's got a lot of power on those shots. And the reason why is because he punches with his legs. And really squats down and gets maximum leverage on each shot. Turns his whole body. I would like to see Steve just continue to change levels, work up, work down, confuse Glowacki, not leave one shot at a time, use combinations. That's how he's going to win this fight.
Against the ropes, separated, ready to go again. And Glowacki, you get the feeling he's getting more and more comfortable that he can get his left in, BJ.
Yeah, he's starting to land that punch more regularly, Kenny. And, you know, Steve neglects his jab this round. And he's not shooting combinations, so it's making it easier for the counterpuncher to do what he wants to do. He's waiting for Steve to shoot, and he's just timing it. Intelligent gameplay.
Well, Glowacki, strong amateur background, 102 amateur wins, 25-0 as a pro, and studies a lot of tapes and videos of Mike Tyson and some of the others over the years that were his heroes.
You saw Steve land a nice right hand a second ago. Why? Because he shot it to the body. He stopped headhunting and hit a target that doesn't move. Krzysztof Glowacki's body.
And you hear the cheers again of Glowacki coming up from the followers that he has here as the round is coming to an end. Krzysztof Glowacki in his first title defense. His left has been tough tonight on Cunningham. That corner look in brought to you by Applebee's, the well-respected Nazim Richardson, giving instructions to Steve Cunningham as we go into this round 9 of this Cruiserweight Championship schedule for 12. The defending champ is Krzysztof Glowacki.
I love the demeanor of Steve Cunningham. You see Glowacki come out firing double jabs, left hands, and Steve Cunningham said, no, you're not going to run away with this one. I'm from Philadelphia. Take this.
You okay? You okay? One more, I'm taking a point. That's a hard warning.
Emphatically, referee Art McCanty telling Glowacki, one more and you lose a point.
There's definitely a language barrier going on there, but I think Glowacki knows exactly what Mr. McCanty's talking about.
I think that was easy to understand.
Nice straight right hand by Steve, trying to set up that hook right hand combination now. So, you know, I just love the demeanor of Steve in this round. He's down on the cards. Glowacki comes out firing combinations, trying to make a statement and a stand in this round, and Steve's just not going to let the momentum go that easy. Shifted it back in his favor.
Glowacki again with the left.
And Steve did something there. Glowacki pressed forward. He stepped back and landed his own left hook. Very nice shot and good timing. And if I'm in the corner now of Glowacki, I'm going to have my guy just, you know what, continue to sit back, but don't just shoot one punch at a time. And make sure and focus on the body of Steve Cunningham. Steve's kind of got a second wind here. Attack that body and break him down again.
Very typical of Cunningham. Getting second wind late in the fight. We've seen it on several occasions.
Nice left hand from Glowacki, but it's discouraging when you come out. You jump off your stool and you say, you know what, I'm going to make a statement in this round. I'm going to take control. Glowacki tried to do that at the beginning of the round. Steve didn't let him. Nice left hook from Steve, a nice left uppercut from Glowacki right after.
Good exchange between the two.
You got to admire both guys here in the 9th round, both giving as good as they're getting. Steve Cunningham is down twice in the 2nd round, and Glowacki's taking a few himself.
Steve Cunningham will be 40 in July.
Steve Cunningham proving that 40 is the new 30.
Yeah, the new 25 it looks like right now.
I want some of the water he's drinking, Kenny.
His wife Livy celebrated her birthday yesterday. He was hoping to ice the cake tonight by pulling the victory and taking the crown once again. And we go into round 10. Scheduled for 12. Krzysztof Glowacki, the southpaw, his first title defense since winning it from Marco Huck back last summer. Meanwhile, for Steve Cunningham, who got that last round unofficially, according to Eric. This is the 9th time he has been in a title fight. 4-4 is his record in championship fights for the two-time cruiserweight champ.
Beautiful body shot underneath the guard of Glowacki by Steve Cunningham a second ago. He sunk that shot in there, Kenny, and you know, these rounds, these championship rounds, Steve has so much experience, you look for him to turn it on and try to take control of the fight. Glowacki's only been this far one other time. Marco Huck in his fight with Nuri Seferi, so 2 times actually, but he doesn't have the same type of experience in these deep rounds and deep waters like Steve Cunningham.
He did, of course, knock out Huck in the 11th round on August 15th. And going down is Steve Cunningham. And for the 3rd time in this fight, Cunningham knocked down. Once again, it was Glowacki able to slide it in.
I didn't even see the shot.
Looked almost as much of a push as a punch.
I'm gonna have to take a look at the replay, Kenny, but could have possibly even been an elbow.
A lot like going back to the Tyson Fury fight, if you remember, with Cunningham, when Cunningham was giving it a try, and there's a good right by Cunningham.
He landed an overhand right and buckled Glowacki for the first time in the fight, Kenny. He's hurt.
That's his best punch.
Glowacki's hurt here, Kenny, and if Steve can go to the body, he can maybe see about getting that point back from that knockdown that he suffered earlier.
Glowacki is wobbling.
Nice overhand right. Looked a lot like the overhand right that Steve dropped heavyweight champion Tyson Fury with.
Another good right by Cunningham.
Keep it clean, off the head, nice.
And Glowacki literally holding on right there.
It shows how tough Glowacki is. You know, you get Steve Cunningham in the 10th round, not many cruiserweights are going to be able to hang around after he buzzes you. He stopped Marco Huck in the 12th round, and he stopped other guys late as well, and Glowacki showing that championship pedigree.
Round, the 3rd time that has happened in this fight, but he also delivered maybe his best power punch with a good right that wobbled Glowacki. From Vought, Poland, the 29-year-old. And here we go into the 11th round. Only the 4th time in his career he's been there. Cunningham's thrived late rounds of the fights in the past.
Another big right hand
by Cunningham. He's finding his measure.
You know, Mercanti keeps warning Steve, watch your head, but Steve's trying to get position on the inside. He's doing it on purpose because if he keeps it right in the middle, he's in range for that left hand by Glowacki, so head position is key on inside fighting.
Cunningham knows what it's like to be in a big fight and be this late in the fight. Last round, 10-9 for Glowacki. Let's check in with Todd.
All right, brother Nazim, Steve gets knocked down, but it looks like he's coming back. What was the message? And we know he has the cardio.
Cardio is good, but defense got to be better. He got to keep his hands rolled up tight and hit this guy in the knee. These guys learn how to box by getting hit in the head. Hitting this guy in the head ain't gonna mean nothing.
Thanks, brother Nazim. Kenny.
All right, thanks, Todd.
Brother Nazim saying he's got to hit him underneath. He's got to go to the body. Come with those uppercuts. Come on the inside. Touch him with overhand rights.
11 times Cunningham has fought into the 11th round or later in his career.
Steve having a very strong round 11, Kenny. It just shows, you know, the temperament of Steve. You know, we've never seen anything different from him in his career. You know, Steve's had so many, you know, the majority of the fight he's controlled, but Glowacki has had the explosive moments that have him ahead on the scorecard. So Steve's got to do something drastic in these last 2 rounds.
An interesting ebb and flow early on Glowacki with those 2 knockdowns back in the second. Cunningham comes back, takes the middle rounds. Glowacki gets his second win, and then Cunningham finds his.
Nice left uppercut by Glowacki.
Glowacki able to slide that left in. That has been his strong punch.
And you see the weight all on that back left foot, Kenny. He's always set to shoot it, so anytime Steve does anything, all he has to do is turn and rip that shot. He gets a lot of leverage on it. He's naturally heavy-handed.
Nice exchange.
And you see fatigue starting to set in on the champion, Glowacki. Steve finally starting to break him down a little bit. Visible effects of Glowacki starting to tire.
You would never guess from right now that there is a 10-year advantage between these two, and Cunningham is the older fighter, almost 40 years old. Round 11 ticking down. His first title defense, 39-year-old Philadelphia native Steve Cunningham, two-time champion, hoping to get the title back. Eric Raskin, how do we score it so far?
I've got Glowacki ahead 105-102. Cunningham needs a huge last round here, and it's all because of the knockdowns. The 10-7 round in the second, and then the 10th, the round that Cunningham won otherwise, went to Glowacki. I only scored it 10-9, but still, he's going to need a big finish here because of those knockdowns.
And Kenny, this reminds me a lot of the fight that he had with Thomas Adamek at the Prudential Center in 2008. He was controlling most of the rounds, won most of the rounds, but the 3 knockdowns of Adamek swayed the judges and had him winning the fight. And, you know, Steve's fought a great fight, but those few moments are going to change the outcome.
What does Steve need to do to win this fight?
You know, do exactly like his corner said. Come underneath with the right hand, finish up top. He's got to do something to, you know, hurt Glowacki again. The only way he was able to do it was the underneath shots and the overhead right.
Not being able to translate myself over here in the Glowacki corner, but there seems to be urgency there. You think they're telling him, obviously, to go out there and stand and swing away, don't play it safe?
I think they're telling him he's got to be sharper. You know, don't fall into the traps that Steve's, you know, laying for him. He's got to be sharp, keep his weight on that back foot, shoot the 2 shots, and keep balance. Steve's able to move him with those punches, and it's affecting the offense of Glowacki. When Glowacki's feet aren't set, Kenny, he has troubles punching, and Steve's able to move him, so it slowed his offense down.
Cunningham trying to work the body.
It's not always how you plan it, Kenny. Glowacki told us he's going to pressure Steve every single round. He hasn't done that, but he's been very smart and strategic and picked his spots, and good right hand by Steve Cunningham.
Cunningham has landed some of his best blows in the later rounds.
Let's go, work.
Both guys unloading heavy leather there, Kenny. Both guys tired.
Glowacki is going to stand and exchange the champ. Wanting to keep his belt. Cunningham trying to take it away. Goes to the body. And Glowacki puts Cunningham down for the 4th time in this fight.
5, 6, 7, 8. Give me your gloves. Walk to me.
The final seconds in this championship round, and the champ rising to the occasion.
The heart of Steve Cunningham getting the better of him, Kenny. He knows he's down on the cards.
Let's go.
He went in for the kill, and he knew there was a price to pay if he got caught. Well, he just got caught again, and great performance from both fighters.
Glowacki with 4 knockdowns in this, his first title defense. And that is the end. And a well-deserved ovation for the champ, Krzysztof Glowacki, and the challenger, Steve Cunningham. What a performance to get us started. We'll have the decision when we come back live to Brooklyn.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 12 championship rounds, we go to the scorecards. Here are your score totals. Judge at ringside, Tom Schreck, has the bout, 116-108. And judges Eric Martlinsky and Guido Cavallari are in accordance, 115-109, all for your winner by unanimous decision. And still the Cruiserweight champion, Krzysztof Glowacki.